Yes. Welcome back to the AJ podcast. Hello, Mishi.
Hi.
Ashley.
I am here.
Hi. Okay. How are you going?
Good.
It's boring. How are you going?
Yeah.
Well, my cast is
More
off.
drama.
Can we just celebrate the fact that my cast is off?
And it looks like it came back.
I mean...
You know what? I totally forgot about that for something that took up so much of your life.
Of my life.
So in one of our, an episode we did recently, like a few times, whenever we were here last time, Ashley had this massive cast on.
And it was dingy dirty.
No, and so we were watching, I was clipping, and Zach walked in and watched while I was editing it. And he was like, why will Ashley not put this laptop down? And I was like, she's hiding a cast behind it. So if you go back and watch that episode from whenever it was, the 8th. Yeah, Sunday the 8th. Yeah. She's got a laptop on her the whole time because she's hiding a cast.
And I had to balance this cast behind it, but then not like push buttons and I'm like holding it like this. No, my hand is free, okay? But I will have to say, an adult cast is not the same as a kid. No. It's not the same experience.
Well, it's literally the same experience, but as an adult, it's way more gross.
It is significantly gross.
It's less acceptable.
I mean, there's a lot going on. Anyways, but it's been 2 weeks without my cast, and I went to try to get up, and my wrist still could not handle the process. I mean, like, my hand is still, like, not good to go even after like 11 weeks in a cast, and I think it's just the natural healing process.
What happened again? How did you get
I was in Kenya.
Naturally
I was in Kenya. Well, you know what, I hope that future Ashley, they're like, where's Ashley? Oh, she's in Kenya.
Yeah.
In a village,
I
talking
feel
about
like it's already that way.
And period cups, and that's fair. That is fair. It is on the calendar. Going twice this year. Going back twice.
Yeah, it's already that way.
Yeah, but I hope it's like really often. Like, oh, where's Ashley? Let me check her Instagram. Oh, she's probably in Kenya. Like, I just want that. Yeah.
Okay.
And I was on a 4-wheeler, and I figured this is way safer than a motorcycle. Mm-hmm. And it was on sand, and I was just like, okay, so like I just pushed go and go, and so it was going well, and then I didn't have my glasses on because I only wear them during pickleball. Not that I'm not blind, but like things could be improved. And I came up on an elevation change, so it's like a mini sand dune, and I came up on it, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna like whiskey throttle the situation, I'm just gonna like let off the gas. And I drove down into the bottom of a sand dune, like a mini sand dune, where I collapsed the handlebars in. I did not get thrown off the 4-wheeler, and I jammed it so bad that I hyperextended my thumb, and so it's called an avulsion fracture, meaning that my tendons like hyperextended but bounced right back, but in the process it pulled off a piece of bone from my knuckle, so from my thumb knuckle. Yeah. So the option was either surgery or a splint, like a removable splint, or a cast. Okay. And because I know myself, I was like, you do like I'm a woman who needs limits because I have no limits. Right. So if you tell me that I can have a removable splint, which was ugly, bulky, and didn't feel great, I'm not going to wear it. Yeah, right. Like, that's just a joke. So I said, just cast me. Yeah. Because then I didn't want to do the surgery, because then you have to cut open tendons and ligaments and then put in these rods and anchors and then re-sew it back up and then heal from that. And so I still think that this was the fastest route, and I was able to play pickleball with it. Yeah. But long story short, after 11 weeks, it's still incredible. Like, it's like the strength is like not there. Like, I can't put my weight on it and like push up or anything like that. So I know that we always use, like, if your leg was broken, like, would you go and enter a hopscotch or a double dutch tournament the next day? And the answer is no. And so, like, we need to treat recovery like that. So, like, to live the example of, like, my thumb is still struggling after 3 months is just
rocking your world. You're like, this should be healed.
Well, I should be ready to go.
Yeah. And you're in your mid-30s. And it probably matters. Like, it probably takes
some
time, and it's never been broken before.
Yeah.
I've never broken a bone. I wonder if my body knows how to fix a bone.
Well, I mean, the body.
Let's find out.
Anyways, what
Okay.
are we talking about?
I was just wondering. So we're talking about two things today. I want to talk about family. So, we actually, it's so interesting. I was talking with Heidi. She's our coach placement specialist. So her and I we actually all read all your applications, to be honest.
Actually, I can't help but not.
Do you get the applications?
I don't.
You don't?
Oh.
Do you want them? It's fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Add me.
No, we see everyone that comes through, but we've been getting since the summer last year, like
That's fair.
a lot of teenagers. So at first I thought, oh, it's summer break, and so like the college kids and stuff just like have the capacity to handle this, but then it just kind of like kept going. So now we get everything from like 16 to 19. Pretty frequently.
I feel like we just got an 18-year-old that just applied. Was it?
Yeah, we're getting them all the time.
It was like Bali, actually.
So I want to talk about them and talk to not only teens but their parents, who are often like still heavily involved in the decision making about this, but they're so far removed that playing catch up on like what is happening is really tough. I have made a course on this that's just like everything you need to know about recovery and teenagers. That's technically free, actually, with a free trial of the society, so you can find that. We can try to link that, but I still just want to make this episode to talk to them, and then if we have time to talk a little bit about another interesting topic, which is the trauma that happens for a lot of people when you hate that word?
No,
okay.
No. What you're trying to say is so real.
When
that it makes me
when you grew up with, and maybe even still do have, a family that is very fixated on bodies, like makes comments on bodies, their own, other people's. That actually has proven to be to make it more emotionally challenging to go through recovery. So let's kick off. You're worried,
even the source of the initial.
Yeah, it's like where it all started, right?
Yeah.
So you're worried about your teenager, or your teenager's worried and you don't understand what's going on. We've had some pretty cool teen clients.
Yeah.
I love them. I have this story in my head that they're more mature than the others. I don't know.
Absolutely. They're more mature than I was.
It's hard to know exactly, or if that's just like how teenagers are, because I just don't remember. But do you have any teen clients?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she's 17. And then I had one who's 18. So, I mean, I still count that as a teen.
Yeah, there's something, because they obviously don't have pregnancy goals.
Yeah,
What's fascinating about teens is it's always from a health perspective, which we love.
Yeah, like I feel like it's the most encouraging thing to know that there's high schoolers, or even just I mean, like I even will lump in college, because
up till 19.
Well,
we're
like
talking all teens.
Yeah, but just even like 2021, when like that's clearly not the goal, is to get pregnant, and they're just like.
Well, we just answered a listener question last week where she was 22 and got
pregnant. Yes. Hey, there's some people who know immediately they want to start having kids. I'm pretty sure that's going to be Nuggie. She's like, I already want a family.
Well, side note, I've noticed this with our clients, and I'm pretty sure it's true. The more in the middle of America that our clients live, the younger they're coming to us with their pregnancy goals, 26, 27, and then the more towards the coast that they live, I've noticed they're more like 30, 31, 32, 33
that would be
with those
so
goals.
Interesting.
I just think like it's a more maybe of a Bible Belt kind of thing, and you get married younger, and you want to start your family younger, and everyone else around you is doing that, and so it's just more of the culture that you're in. And then us on like the East Coast and the West Coast, it's not quite as much. But another thing I was wondering that Heidi pointed out, have you also maybe this isn't true, she noticed it, that we don't get a lot of people from California. We don't get a lot of Californian applicants.
But the ones that we do I think because of the culture or the pressure that is put on them,
I think it's different there.
It's different and it's hard. I'm not saying it's harder, but
I feel like
it's a different world.
It's a different world.
That's true. I mean, like, we don't get an overwhelming amount. That would be interesting to see, like, what state we actually get the most from, or even a country. Like, I would even say, like, we probably get more UK.
We do get a lot of UK. We get like a lot of Netherlands.
We should gather this data.
Yeah, I don't know. We get a lot of
We
Netherlands.
probably have it somewhere.
But
no, it is somewhere. We just haven't.
Yeah, and it's like not gonna. But
it's not gonna change anything that we actually do.
But I do. I mean, like, maybe one day we'll be getting that granular. But it is interesting. But anyway, we digress. But Californians, we see you.
We know you got it.
And we know you're not applying, but we know you got it.
We know you got it. Okay, we know it's a situation.
Okay, so teens.
Yes, teens.
Yeah, so teens. So they are losing periods at very young ages. Let's start there.
Yes. I think it's amazing that they are even aware and are concerned, and the fact that they've even they've even sought it out. They've probably gone to doctors, all these types of things, and yet they still find us because they actually they care that much. Is wild to me, and I think it's the coolest thing ever, because it's so much easier just to take birth control as a teen and that just being the status quo. Because I think you didn't get on birth control. Well, you weren't in America.
You know, really when I was very young in high school, I did the whole like acne thing. You know, just the whole for my skin thing, but it didn't last long. I wasn't actually consistent enough with it, and I just couldn't be bothered.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, so here, like, status quo, I think, like, girls are
it just 13, is a thing.
15, and then
it's like, the same everywhere.
Yeah, and then, like, they just get put on birth
control. As soon as you get your period,
birth control, and, you know, and we're not for or against. I mean, again, a formed decision, probably need all the facts. But to actually care about your period as a teen, I love it. I think it's a sign that it, like, menstrual literacy and body literacy really is changing because of social media. Like, because there's just more people talking about it. There's more podcasts talking about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think they also notice that, you know, they're at an age where they're supposed to be getting it, or have even got it by now, and it's only happened once, or it hasn't happened at all.
Yeah.
And there is an element of like, well, this is happening for all of my friends.
Yeah,
and
this
is
happening
not fitting in.
Yeah. No, and, like, I think that's probably great.
Teens, you let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is it? What's the drive?
Yeah. But, you know what I mean? But because it's probably the first time that I don't know, because after that, then, like, you just see it as a nuance, or it's just everybody doesn't have it because they take birth control or do this. So, like, it's a very, like, unique time for sure.
Yeah.
Very, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, and I think it takes a lot of courage for women that young, because, I mean, let's face it, when you're that young, I might struggle to articulate this, but, like, you are, like, you more care about how you're perceived and how you look, because I think maybe because that's the point in time where you're looking for a partner or things of that nature, or
everything's changing so fast.
But the older you get, the more you get settled into who you are, and like you are less fixated on how you look. That's not, like, I'm not saying that you don't care about how you look, but I just know that when I was younger, I was obsessed with it.
It mattered a lot.
It mattered a lot. And I think as my ability of self-acceptance has come with age.
Yes.
And work, internal work, but with age, I've just settled more into who I am.
Well, because that's what's weird about it, is at such a young age, there's very little maturity. Like, it's just mathematically impossible for you to have had a lifetime of maturity.
Well, just context, right? Like, the amount of, like, life experiences.
Yeah, your life experiences. But that's why, you know, that's such a important time for them to be fitting in.
Exactly.
And so a lot of, you know, I think that because of the internet, and it's just made it it's made them do a lot more adult type things for weight loss. I see more and more girls being very obsessive with food and exercise at a young age. When I was in high school, no one was doing anything like that. They were getting like the hair and the nails and the makeup and stuff. We wore uniforms, thank goodness.
Yeah.
But
the rate that it is accelerating at is so scary. Like just even as a mom, I'm just like, bro, like that can't be like what's on, you know what I mean? Like, dude, like that can't be their experience as like being 17 or like 16, 17 to like have this look. And maybe it's not exactly like the Kardashians because that's like our older generation, so I don't even know who.
Well, for us it was like Paris Hilton and
Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, and they were doing Richie. Like Kate Moss, like it was actually, they were very lean.
Very skinny.
I have heard that I've heard other teens say there's actually a little bit more of a body diversity acceptance happening now. Like, so when we were growing up, it was like there's one way.
Yeah.
Yes.
But now there's multiple ways, but there's still like set ways. And
I think that there's multiple ways, but the filter of like perfect skin, this hair, like look here. I was gonna get either a box dyed hair. My mom was not taking me to the salon, dropping $500 on low lights or highlights.
Yeah,
I got to have
like
streaks.
That's like not happening.
You got to have.
My mom was like, you can have streaks because it's like fun.
Yeah,
but yeah,
but that's what I'm saying, to the point where, bless it, I was at the jump park the other day with Nugs and they're high schoolers, and this chick legit, if you could take a 22-year-old influencer, that's exactly what the 17-year-old was dressed as. Everything down to like the yoga pants with the scrunched butt.
Oh no.
The sports bra with
like accentuating her butt as a child?
Yes.
With deep cleavage, a matching set, obviously, hair blown out, you know what I mean? Like, makeup was flawless. And I was just like,
you are like, are you trying to get the male gaze?
Of course.
That age.
But like, you know, like that's the standard.
Yeah. No, you're right.
On TikTok.
You're right.
And I was just sitting here like, you have so much life ahead of you. And this is what we're at. You know what I mean? Like, this is really where we're at. So caring, like how does caring about your period fit into that mold?
Yeah.
Like, do you have the matching set?
Noticing
do you have the fake tan?
Those are not typically the teens that we get, which is interesting though.
No,
so they're not. Like, who you're describing is not a teenager.
She'll be around in her late 20s.
Yeah, she
will. Oh yeah, no. She's 100% gonna be our client later.
So I had someone, this beautiful lady that I know from pickleball who has a 15-year-old daughter, and she was saying how her, and I feel like this also says something about me, and I was like, I gotta check myself, but yeah, she was like, oh yeah, my daughter has started, she gets up early now, she comes down, she makes this elaborate breakfast for herself that's like the homemade sourdough with the cottage cheese and cucumbers, and there's just some things that like, some like little alarms in my belt that were going off in my head that sound more like our teen clients.
Yeah.
Right? It looks from the onset actually very mature and healthy. Yes. Oh look, she's not just eating cereal and Pop-Tarts. She's doing this thing, and it's starting off looking very well-meaning, and it's but as time goes, it's progressing and it's becoming like. So what we hear more from parents is she won't eat anything, or she has to get workouts in, and concepts that maybe feel a bit too older.
Yes,
like
more like mature.
Do. And it's early morning. If your teen is already like making elaborate healthy breakfasts, obsessing about food, lots of food blogs, lots of food TikTok accounts.
I feel like food quality is a huge bell for me when it's a 16-year-old, 17-year-old having issues about gluten.
The teens with HA have more orthorexic issues.
Yes. I would definitely I think it's more. It comes from, and like I could imagine that as this behavior is starting, kind of like what you're talking about, like we see red flags, like, oh, I know where that's heading. I could imagine that as a parent, you probably didn't even see it coming.
You think it's
like,
great.
Yeah, you're like, well, I'm just glad that she's eating. I'm glad that she's making breakfast.
And technically, at this phase, it is great.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And I had a teen, and her mom was great. It was, like, it's so awesome whenever the parents are involved, and I love chatting with the parents and the moms, and sometimes I'll get an email from the dad, and I'll, like, loop them in on how they're doing and stuff. But, like, it was, like when a teen's food looks too pretty, I know she's hungry. And I know, and it's just kind of like starting to be like, oh, is this what TikTok told you was breakfast? You know what I mean? I'm glad that you're eating. I'm glad that you're eating toast. I'm glad that you know what I mean? But it's so interesting that, like, those are definitely, like, the red flags of, like, a teen who's potentially, like, maybe it's not now.
It's
but
more
it's
of like
something
an
that I would
amber
keep an
flag.
eye on. Yes, like, I would keep an eye on it. Of like, hey, where is this coming from?
It's when it starts to become like, I cannot be flexible with this.
It's the rigidity.
That the actual alarm bell should be going off.
Yeah. Like, if like your teen is not going to eat anything at the restaurant because it's not blank, blank, and blank, that's where I'm like, okay, this isn't as harmless as, like, we thought it was. Like, this is turning into rigidity. This is turning into food rules. This is turning into... hiding behind health.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Healthifying a bunch of trees.
And it's so tough because we're not saying, like, okay, now go grill everyone you know on their healthy habits.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you just have to keep an eye out. And, like, is she getting her period or not? Yeah. Like, how often is she asking you to help go buy whatever? And
her pads or tampons or whatever it is.
Yeah, but yeah, like a lot of teenage girls are realizing this for themselves and obviously have decent enough relationships with their parents to talk about it and get help for it, which is really good. And so, yeah, I just wanted to, like, address those warning signs, and that, if your teen is telling you they have this issue, but you really want to put it in the hands of a doctor. So that's also really something that, like, we should just, like, talk about a little bit. We're not doctors. We're not their doctor. We're not your doctor. We're not telling you what to do. But here's how we see things from our perspective, which is there is no medical solution for amenorrhea. And it's very habitual for us to go to the doctor. It's very common to not get a diagnosis for HA because the lab work, and we're actually going to talk about this in the next episode that we do next week, but the lab work often doesn't say anything, and so you won't get anything. You'll get either they look totally normal, just go on birth control, or just take progesterone. And the truth is there is no medical solution for it, so trying to get them help through the medical system is actually a dead end.
Yeah, I think just going in with the expectation of what can they actually help you with, and I think it's, yes, you should see a doctor. Yes, get an ultrasound. Yes, run labs. But just know that, like, it's a high chance of being misdiagnosed with PCOS, which is then going to drive those healthy habits with a massive approval and unleash it into a whole other issue that we see, right? One thing that I kind of wanted to circle back around is, like, along with being overly concerned about food quality and maybe, like, not eating at certain restaurants and being like, that's not healthy, this is, like, really just, like, the language around food, that's like a red flag, not eating at restaurants. But I also am like starting to see, like, over exercising in girls, and they think it's just a healthy habit. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna say this, I think sometimes it goes missed because potentially the mom also struggles with a healthy relationship with food and movement, and so therefore what their daughter is doing is just
normal,
like, it's just mimicking what's being seen at home. You know what I mean? but their body is not able to handle it because they're just not getting enough, and they're just starting like where like if like you're a mom and you're sitting there working out 6 days a week, but you have a cycle and everything's great, that's great. Okay, go on. You know what I mean? Like Danny and I are gonna pickle until we can't. Mm-hmm. It's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. Okay. But if your daughter is trying to mimic and keep up with the same habits that you have, but she's not eating enough because she's also growing, and we could talk about puberty and the amount of fat that like needs to be laid down in order for puberty to kick off and hormones and stuff like that. But like if she's not getting enough and trying to keep up with your example of movement, she may not be getting enough and therefore dipping into HA. Or if you have a certain health journey and you've chosen to go gluten-free, I'm not shaming you for that. But then now your daughter does gluten-free, and now she's cutting out like all these amounts of carbs at the same time that as her body's like going through puberty and trying to ovulate, she's going to have a different response than you. You know what I mean? And so I think sometimes these red flags don't really pop up because it may be something that the mom is doing themselves or an auntie, you know what I mean? And because it's working for them, it doesn't even raise a concern. Yeah. And I think sometimes it does happen like that, and it's like unknowingly, I think a lot of our girls are kind of dipping into this, not intentionally. Yeah. Maybe, I mean, like what high schooler isn't going to be a little bit self-conscious about her body and thinking that losing weight is going to solve the problem? Most women who are adults and moms, it doesn't make you exempt, believe that too. So why would a daughter not believe that? You know what I mean? And so I think that their bodies are just more sensitive. And so what isn't a red flag to you could be a red flag for them.
Yes. Yeah. It's not like there's this like moral right or wrong. No, it's just like, oh, these are patterns. And an interesting
resiliency,
a parallel is so you know the energy drink Monster and other similar drinks, they the marketing is done where it shows like guys in like their 20s, like early 20s, whatever, and the whole reason for that is actually to attract teenage boys. Like the 14, 15, 16 are actually the buyers of those drinks.
Like what 14-year-old needs an energy drink? But here we are.
I know, but if you put someone slightly above them, so the older guys, the older kids, 21, 22,
right,
and they're on their BMXs and they're, the motorbikes and the whatever they're doing, and it looks really cool, and that attracts them. It doesn't actually attract other 20-something-year-olds as much. Obviously, they sell to all those people, right? But this is what this was an Alex Hormozy thing, I think.
Oh.
Or no, it was a How I Built This episode. They talk about the Liquid Death episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But that's how the marketing for Liquid Death was done too. And so it's for them. So similarly with us, these young girls are on TikTok and they're actually looking at girls who are 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, doing these other things, living this way. And those younger girls are trying to mimic that.
So they call them the Sephora girls. Have you heard that?
Yeah, I have heard of this.
Of like, or like the Ulta
I think they're
girls.
even younger. They're like 8.
Yeah, like they're going and doing influencing videos or being an influencer, and in Sephora and in Ulta, and it's actually ruined the brand. The brand's gone down.
Yes,
because now
it had an opposite reaction.
Yeah, because it's no longer relevant to the people who
now it's an ick for us to go. We're too old to go do that.
Yeah. So then now it's turned into like a teen place rather.
She didn't know that when she went last week and asked for help.
Yeah, she was just like, wow, there's so many people up in here.
To Claire's.
But this makes sense.
It's just a higher end Claire's. That's basically what But to my point of the chick at the Jump House.
Yeah, that's who she's.
That's exactly to where like that same example.
That marketing strategy works.
Yes, and so it's capturing younger. Anyways, but long story short, I don't think that every I think this goes back to the resiliency of a teenage girl's hormonal system, endocrine system, HPO access, and all that is not the same as somebody who's been cycling for years or whatever. And so therefore, I think like we have to be open to, this is just like we're sugar free in our house because we don't believe in sugar and stuff like that. Okay, I hear that, but are we now avoiding fruit? Mm-hmm. Is that impacting your daughter's total carb intake?
Can we not drink a juice?
Yeah, so stuff like that, to where it's like, yes, you made that decision at like, I don't know, 30.
Yeah.
But that decision being made, like sugar is bad at 17, has a completely different.
Yeah, the physiology.
Well, that and then like mentally and emotionally, like
every single part
of that is a very different decision around food, right? Like where like you're possibly cycling and you're 35 and you talk about food being good or being good and bad. Mm-hmm. But when a 5-year-old hears that, or when like a 12-year-old hears that, or when a 17-year-old hears, oh, well, this is bad, it just carries a different weight because you're a parent saying that something's bad, and we've taught them to grow up to believe you and trust you that whenever we say something is bad, that you must stay away from it because it's bad. Mm-hmm. It just it carries a different weight than you flippantly or nonchalantly talking about food being good or bad. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it's actually very multifaceted, and it's not to like blame the parent or blame the family. I think it's just being mindful that like the decisions impact differently.
Yeah, that like your child is almost always at a different life stage to you,
as well as I should be.
Yeah, and that makes sense. Yeah. So as a result, this matters. Listen to them, but I just want to do something that we could point to.
And we've had great success with teens.
Teens are some of the best clients.
I mean, really and truly, as long as this hasn't gone so deep to where now your teen has an eating disorder, you know what I mean? That's where I feel like, no, we are not a great fit if your teen has an active eating disorder. No, they need to see an eating disorder specialist, therapist.
Oh, yeah.
All that.
But if your kid is just struggling to get her period going and her relationship with food is like a bit whack, we can fix that. And they're sponges, man. They're so...
They're very quick to heal out. Like, also, they're very quick to heal. Like, it's not this... Yeah, very often, it's not a longer, drawn-out process. I think it's just because, like, they're just more willing to make the changes. Like my most recent one, she was like, I just cannot go into college still dealing with this. She's like, this has to be solved this year. Yeah. I don't want to spend any more of my senior year dealing with this. And I was like, that's a good motivation. Like, girl, you have so much to do this year. You have so much to experience. Do we really want to be talking about this? Like, I don't think that you want to be talking about this. So let's just get this done so that you can close this chapter and live your life and go into college. Like, so a lot of, naturally, our teens are really high achieving. And so she's wanting to go into nursing. And I was like, bro, the classes you're going to have to take and then being in a nursing program, do you want to be dealing with this on top of it? Like, no. Like you're going to need the brain space to study.
Yep. And just like experience life. Like, have the full college experience.
Yeah, to whatever that looks like. You know what I mean? But like, it certainly isn't sitting here making sure that you're eating enough, you know what I mean, and dealing with like let's turn this on so that you can move on,
or avoiding it, or doing the opposite and being like, I'll wait till I'm not busy with school. I'll wait till I'm finished with school. Or
thankfully like we don't get that because like we get, oh well, I'll wait till after my wedding. Oh well, I'll wait till after this vacation.
That's a bigger issue.
Oh,
but I think that we just don't. I think that we just don't get it because they are not reaching out.
That's fair.
So I think we should know about them.
Yeah.
There's something, because that's a whole other like thing where the teens who reach out appear to be more invested. But then there's this whole other demographic of women who like they want to recover because they know they should, and they want to have kids within the next 5 years, but like also their wedding is coming up. And so they have so many conflicting goals that they still reach out, but they can't make a decision. It's like when you're a teenager,
like they just don't take action.
Yeah. When you're a teenager, it's so much more straightforward.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because your life hasn't reached this level of like complexity.
Well, yeah, or of like events and, you know, stuff like that where you're like, yeah. Or I like it when they're like, hey, I'm coming home from college. I just want to sort this out. Like, get it done. Like, I just want to sort this out so that when I go back to school next year, it's done.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yes, right? Because, like, they just...
What's so cool about working on this as a teen? Because at first you're kind of like, oh, like, this sucks. They're so young. They shouldn't have to be doing this, blah, blah, blah. You know what? It's actually so good for them when they go through this, because then, you know, they talk to us and they go down this like entire world that they may have never come across of self-acceptance and letting your body just be, that like sets them up for life. And so they get to go through this so soon that they don't even
absolutely.
Like if I could like have the wisdom that I have now then and the self-acceptance, like I would have just been like killing life.
Well, or just the fact that, like, maybe every teen needs to, like, have a coaching session. You know what I mean? To where it's like, hey, I actually just want to let you know that when we say good food, bad food, like, that's, like, a crazy thing.
Yeah.
And then I go, you know what I mean?
Well, it's also not a ridiculous idea to think that, like, older women should be mentoring younger women through stuff like this.
Well, that too.
Instead of perpetuating.
The cycle, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't say it. You said it.
Yeah.
But no, but like think about like I actually think that all teens could probably benefit from. Well, I do know this. Learning about their menstrual cycle, learning about you know what I mean, the phases. When is it off? You know, what does it mean when it's off? Like, just food in general. Like, yeah. Like, could you imagine that if like girls were, I don't know, equipped and empowered at a younger age about their body?
Yeah.
It would be wild. You know what I mean? It would be just wild for them. And it is interesting. Like, I haven't had a teen have, like, who's, like, committed to the process, has done it and healed, be like, that was pointless. That was worth it. That didn't, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, no. Like, I've yet to have had that.
We haven't had a client like that either. Teen or adult.
Yeah, very true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, and like to your point, like learning how to troubleshoot your cycle at 16 is not too advanced.
No.
Yeah, it's not. It's easy. It's easy peasy, guys.
Yeah, it's actually not that bad.
Yeah.
Okay, and so the other thing I wanted us to talk about was growing up with families that have a lot of judgment, make a lot of comments, and care a lot about bodies and body sizes. I've noticed that the experience is even more emotional for someone when they feel that what I assume it is the opposite of support. They have no support. They feel unsupported. They feel judged by their family going through this. Versus, like, I knew my family was a non-issue for this process. They were the last people that would be like on my mind about it.
Yeah.
And so I kind of want to touch on that, but I don't have personal experience with that. Only professional experience.
I think mine's only professional experience as well too. I don't know. My mom kind of like still diets. So I think my experience was more just from like a dieting mom that made it so normal that like I just thought that these were normal. Like, you know, like the whole binge and like restrict cycle I just thought was like a lack of self-control. Like, just like that's just your relationship around food. Like, that's a normal relationship.
You're an undisciplined person.
Yeah, just can't be trusted, or, just stuff like, just can't be trusted around sweets, or, but now being in this work for 5 years, all the compassion, I'm like, oh my gosh, bless my mom. She's just a product of like every fad diet that her generation went through.
What about your family's relationship with food?
I think similar to like Ashley's. Like, my mom, I wouldn't say always, but like the relationship that she had with food and her body is certainly was what I absorbed. And so that's how I learned how to, like, the relationship she had with her body is the same relationship that I have with my body, a non-accepting one. Something is always wrong with it. And then always being on a diet. But going through HA, there wasn't that part of me that was like, my family is going to say something about my body or things like that. Yeah. So I only also have experience within practice of like families being somewhat non-accepting. But I can relate in the sense of like, I know that my relationship with food, my body, and how I interacted with those things was certainly a byproduct of what I grew up in.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. I don't have that. My mom was a champ. Everyone in my family was a champ. I think that though partly it's just like none of us had like the capacity, like the ability to diet. Like we just can't do it. Like we just like food so much. And my parents like to drink a lot. Yeah. And so it's just not
it doesn't seem very Australian.
What?
To like diet.
Oh no, it's plenty. Like it was everywhere else. Like my mom had friends and stuff.
Yeah.
That did it, but it wasn't my family. It wasn't anyone in my family, and so. But still, I caught it.
Yeah. Still, I'm here.
Still, I know that for me, it was leaving the home. It was leaving my home and being out in the world and being like, oh, this is what everyone else is doing, and we're not doing it. And what does it mean about my family that we don't do that? Which it wasn't a big deal for me, but I know that I thought about it. Yeah.
Which I think is good because, like, look, as parents, you're going to screw up.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to screw up your child. Like, it's, you know what I mean? It's always just to, like, what degree? And then at what, I mean, honestly.
Which settings do you want to mess with?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and then at some point they become adults, and just like we all became adults, and then you're responsible for your own healing and your own journey, and that is just human nature. And sorry, so you know what I mean?
Great important point to bring up that we should circle back to, as well as like at a certain point you need to take responsibility for this, and we can't just look to, oh well, my family are judging me, and so I can't do this. Like it's not gonna be an excuse for you. You are gonna have to take that responsibility.
Yeah, everybody.
But it does suck that it's gonna be a bit more work.
Well,
for you.
I do think it's also, it's like everyone has their journey. Everyone's gonna have a certain level of suck. Everyone is like you're going to go through it. I think for me, when I first started coaching, the thing I was most shocked at was, like, when I asked clients, hey, when was the first time you stopped trusting your body around food? When was the first time you thought food was bad? When was the first time you believed that your body was wrong? And it broke my heart, the amount of times that it came from a trusted family member. Like,
a lot.
It I would almost say 80% of our clients. And I think that's why I'm absolutely psychotic about the women that are, the women that is around Nuggie, their relationship with food and their relationship with their body. Like, as a Nuggie does not stay with anybody who has a poor relationship with food and a poor relationship with body. Like, it's not a judgment. It's just not something that I'm willing to put her in that environment. She's going to be out in the world. I just don't need it happening from, you know what I mean? That has caused me to have some scuffles with my mother-in-law, which I potentially have not handled exactly appropriately, right? But, like, we're all on a path.
Yeah.
We're all on a path. But she also does not stay with her.
Yeah.
You're also not, even in my will. Like, if, like, something was to happen to me and Nuggie used to go somebody.
Not you.
It's not any family member. Like that's how serious I take it. And not because I think I'm going to be able to prevent it. Because you didn't have any of that in your immediate family. And yet Danny's still, wound up here. So, like, my goal isn't that she's never going to have HA. But I just feel like this is a decision that I can participate in. And I plan to be very intentional about it. You know what I mean?
But she's also at a phase in life where she's very malleable.
And they are incredibly.
Yeah, she's a sponge right now, and a lot of what's happening right now is going to shape who she is and how she participates in the world. And so if you can get a really strong foundation, and you set her free, when these things come into her ecosystem, she's gonna be like, what?
That, and I want her to be able to come back to a home base. That even if she gets off track, even if something happens and all these things, because I'm not gonna be able to, like, I need her to be able to come back to a home base where some, you know, but also it is probably, I don't know, maybe it is a trauma response for doing this for 5 years, hundreds of women, and the horrific comments of, like, you know, like this one girl very, very, very early, she was like, it was actually my friend's mom, whenever I went to go get a snack from the fridge, because we're just really good friends, that she was like, I can't believe you keep eating. And then she was like, that's when I first realized, like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with me. Like, why do I keep eating?
And it's sudden, like, suddenly.
Because they trust adults so much.
Dave's dad, like, it was in my 30s. Like, I was like eating tortillas, but I was also dieting, so like I'm hungry.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
like,
and you're already feeling shame because you're
but you're probably excessively hungry. Like, you probably
I'm so hungry.
Yeah.
And then he puts my hand on when I go to reach again. Do you think you've had enough? I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
One time I embarrassed my mom when we were out because I was just like eating all of the snacks that the host had put out.
Yeah.
There's a part of that like makes sense.
Yeah, you're like, as a mom now a little bit, but
yeah, you're like you're just like being rude.
Yeah.
But I actually just felt embarrassment. Yeah. And I had like one thing with my grandma. She was a dieter.
Grandmas hold a lot of power,
and I hold much compassion.
Grandmas hold a lot of power, and so those words land.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a story
I've told
about
this
one.
a bunch of times, so I'll just say really quick. But one day when I was in high school, she was just like, "How do you get home after school?" Like, just like curious. And I was like, "I walk," and she was like, "Oh, that's good. That'll keep you trim." And I just went, "Damn, she right."
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna keep walking. Yeah. And then I walked till I was, 30.
Yeah. It was a recent one. Everything kind of like seemed locked in, and her mom was on the call when I asked this question, and I didn't shy away from it either. And I said, okay, well, when was the first time that you believed your body was wrong? Or that like bigger bodies were like wrong? And she's like, and so she starts crying because she doesn't want to say anything ill of somebody she loves.
In front of her.
Well, like, if you notice, a lot of people who have experiences with parents, they won't state the facts about their parent because they feel like they're betraying their parent in stating the fact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That's very normal psychology.
It's a very normal psychology thing. Mm-hmm. So that was naturally happening, but then her mom was there, and so she starts crying, and I think that because it is painful, but she kind of don't want to say it, and I said, hey, it's very common to, like I said something like, hey, like, we don't have to blame or judge, but it's okay to say actually what happened. Mm-hmm, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it was her grandma, who she loves, was just like, I think was making fun of somebody in a bigger body.
Yep.
And so she immediately was like, that's when I learned that it's not okay to be bigger.
Yeah.
So therefore, and so I said, okay, so I want you to realize that you are, and like, this is a teen, you are choosing to stay sick and smaller so that your grandma will love you.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Or that, like, you feel like your grandma will love you. You know what I mean?
Or, just talking about bodies in general, like, you're just like,
that's what I'm saying. Your grandma's words hold so much weight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't even directed about her. You know what I mean? But she made it, because that's human psychology. We make it about ourselves. You
but
know
you
what I
just
mean?
like never want to be that thing that people are demonizing because that is bad.
Well, you were being taught as a child. You were consistently being taught a value system.
Exactly. Yeah.
Consistently being taught a value system. And so when my mother-in-law said something nasty about her body and then stood up and then took her lower belly and just like jiggled it up and down, was like, see, I want to get rid of this. And I was just sitting here and I lost my shiz on her. I think I literally said,
Because Nugs was there.
Nugs was there.
Yeah.
If Nugs wasn't there,
You might
each
be
your
like,
own.
yeah.
Whatever, to each their own. But I like lost it. I think I was just like, do you not realize that your granddaughters are here in front of you and you're sitting here talking about yourself like that? Mm-hmm, like I think I just absolutely and I think Blake knew I was going to lose it, and I think he just let it happen. He was just like, you know, like, this is about to pop off. Like, it's just, like, it's going to happen. I can't stop this train, and my mom's not going to stop, and Ashley's not going to stop, and it's going to be, it is what it is what it is.
Yeah.
And, like, her whole, like, no, I didn't care. Like, her husband was there, like, sister was there, the kids were there, their husband was there.
There's a little bit of...
and I'm not saying that's appropriate. No. I'm not saying it's appropriate. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I would want to do it again. That way.
You wish that you chose like a calmer avenue of correcting.
Yeah. I think I would have just put on the coaching hat and just asked a very deep, pointed question and dropped it there. You know what I mean?
And then later, when no one, like, just be like, maybe don't grab your stomach and shake it around in front of my kid.
Yeah.
Maybe don't
just
do
like
that.
next time.
I think I've told Blake, I was like, hey, you need to have a conversation with your mom.
Yeah.
That if she's going to come over to our house and if she's going to be with us, she can't be talking about her body like that or dieting.
Or anyone's, because to your point, like,
yes, or anyone's.
It's really just anything that you hear about someone else. Like, yeah, that's how we understand the world, is through comparison. I know that this is big because that is small.
Yes.
And
kids are constantly categorizing. That's how they learn.
It's data.
Yeah.
It's data. And like even now at our age, it's still exactly the same. Because if we were sitting here being, you know, I tell the story about a friend who like made the dainty wrist comment. Super small thing. And she was like, she just has like the most amazing little feminine wrists. Yeah. And I remember just being like, and I'm like, bro, these be small wrists. Just chill out. Yeah. But I just remember being like, well, what's wrong with my wrists? Like, because if you're not saying, oh,
you have
like
wrists
yours, then there's, you know, and so now there's like a better version of my wrists. Like, who cares? And it could be anything from like, oh, I like she has the most beautiful long blonde hair. I don't have blonde hair.
Yeah.
You know, and so just like, even though those are small things, those are just little examples, because I'm not trying to set anyone off right now.
Yeah.
But like, that's just what your brain does.
And I think that, like, because look here, I don't even know what's real life anymore, because like we talk every single day. We're on a Zoom call every single day at least, so that like whenever we see in person, I'm just like, it's just a continuation. It's just a massive continuation of our life. You know what I mean? That like, and then like our HA Society people, we're so involved with them in the community, and we're so involved with our clients that like I really do think that I've built this ecosystem where
we're in a bubble.
Yeah, we're 100% in a bubble. We're like we just sit here, thrive, build business, help women, and continue and whatever. That like we just don't comment about bodies in general.
Then you go out into the normal world, and it's everywhere.
And then you have Christmas dinner and blow up at your mother-in-law. You know what I mean? And then you like absolutely like wreck the holidays.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You just go to a party that you were invited to where you don't know anyone else.
Yeah, you're just like,
it just comes up.
But all that to say, I like, and this isn't justifying my behavior, I think it is because of our work where we have seen so many women. It wasn't a boy at school. It wasn't this. It was their mom. It was their grandma. It was their dad. And I'm just like, which is now having this lifelong condition, because by the time they get to us, right? Yeah. And then it's this great unraveling, and I'm just like, wow, like, actually, I don't have any room for negotiation on this.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way, especially, like, where we live at is there's a high fixation on beauty and bodies. And I was just telling one of my friends the other day about, like, you know, this is something I'm really, like, I have a strong opinion about, and I'm not going to be flexible about it because of, like, the clients that I work with and my own personal experience. Like, this is something that has, you know, stolen so much life from them. And I'm not willing to allow that to continue, and I am going to be the light, and I am going to be the change that I want to be seeing happening in the world, because like, I'm doing this for them, I'm doing this for myself, and I'm doing this for future generations. So absolutely not, I'm not going to be flexible on it. No, I'm not going to engage in your banter about wanting to get a nose job. I'm sorry. I'm not going to engage in your banter about wanting Botox. Like,
yeah, I'm not even gonna like join it. I just like freeze.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
If you want Botox, don't come to me, please. I'm not gonna be the girl who wants to chat about you with it. Like, but if you want to talk about body acceptance, let's do it.
Yeah, and like I do think that most of the time, like, Mishi and I were talking to this. Like, most of the time, like, when it comes up, like, I'm not blowing up at everybody.
Yeah.
I think like, if I was to have a conversation and like that, and Nuggie was there, I'd probably turn her in the middle of it, be like, hey, someone's talking about their body this way. I just want you to know that that's more about them. And you know what I mean? Like, I would probably...
Then you're like, oh, but now am I drawing her attention to it? Like,
no, but, you know, like, what's naturally now, I just don't even address it. Like, I was telling her, like, I was at pickleball, and we have this one teammate, love her. This chick always be making homemade something. And she's in her mom era. So am I, but not like this. So, like, we all need people like this. And she's bringing, like, chocolate chip cookies. She's, like, feeding the whole MLP league, not just our team, right? Yeah. She was coming with sourdough oatmeal cream pies last week. Anyways, and so this older woman comes up, and she's like, this isn't for me. And I'm like, okay. Like, as in, like, what's the next? Like, I'm not engaging in that. She's like, this is for so-and-so. I'm like, okay, you know what I mean?
Like, she wants you to know that she's not eating it?
She goes, I'm on a 1,200 calorie deficit.
Oh, yeah, because no one wants to talk more about their diet than someone on a diet.
Who's hungry around an oatmeal cream pie.
Well, because they want you to see, I'm disciplined.
Yeah, see, hey, I'm disciplined. Like, this isn't for me. This is for somebody else. And I just remember being like, trying to wait for a part of her conversation where I can engage in with her.
Yeah.
But,
because like, what are you going to do? Be like, oh, I totally get it.
Be like, oh, yeah, so does that mean, like, you're eating 800 calories? Like, what's going on? Anyways, right? So, you're like, I'm just waiting for an opportunity to engage with her. And I think sometimes it just leads to me just, like I'm silent. Waiting.
I know.
Like, I'm waiting. I'm not being rude. I'm not being nasty. I'm not being judgmental. I'm just waiting for an opportunity of something else that they're going to say so I can connect with her, engage with her, be civil, have a conversation. Yeah. You know what I mean? But that's generally how I handle it. You know what I mean? Obviously, this was past Ashley.
Where's my point in time to redirect this conversation to something more meaningful?
Yeah.
What's the sad part is like, we've learned to connect on such a shallow level. And when people are gossiping about other people or talking about bodies, like, this is what I tell clients all the time too. It's just like, that's how people have learned how to connect.
Yes.
And so, like, while it sucks that that's what they're talking about, just know that they are looking for connection. And so that you can redirect that conversation that drives a deeper connection.
If you have enough conversations with a particular person too, you actually they will notice.
Yeah.
Yes.
They do notice that you don't engage.
Yes.
And so if you don't gossip and you just, like, shut it down by simply not engaging, they actually pick up on that. And
it's huge.
Because it's happened to me. Like, other people doing that to me has helped me grow.
Yep, same.
And yes. And so I remember, you know, the times that it happens and thinking to myself, first of all, it's like a cringe moment.
Yep.
Yeah, you're like, oh, why did I say that?
They totally, and then it allows you to see your own, honestly, like, shortcomings.
Yeah.
And then decide to change. And you know what? what's cool about it is it's actually using the exact same psychology principle that gets you in that mess in the first place.
Yeah.
Someone else didn't engage or didn't give me what I wanted or said or did something that made me feel that like didn't validate my behavior. And so now I'm more willing to question my behavior versus when you try to directly call someone out, the defensiveness.
Yeah, it's just not beneficial. Yeah.
So So like this is also, you know, while it's around you and your family members are doing it, and it's very emotional, I think one of the best things that you can do is send some compassion their way, because it sucks to feel the way they feel.
Yeah.
And start leading by example.
Yeah.
You have, like, be the person.
Yeah, I think this is specifically tough for specific cultures too, and that we've noticed with our clientele. And at the end of the day, it's like, as a coach, you're never going to be able to write to their family members, their mom, their grandma, their auntie, their so-and-so, and tell them the amount of damage that they're actually doing. And part of you as a coach, you're just like, just leave her alone. You know what I mean? Like, let her have a, you know.
But the damage is done anyway. Yeah. So it's time to just focus on yourself.
So with that, I feel like our job is then to help them. Like, how do you transition from this and move forward? And one thing that I like, rather than gaslighting them with like toxic positivity, I'm just like, you know, it does suck to be the first person in your family to make changes. That
hard things suck, but you're disciplined, remember?
But you know, that is hard.
Yeah.
But the other option is to continue to let this go, and then you pass this on. Like, that's what's at stake. Either you're going to pass this on, or like you are the chosen one that like gets the opportunity to make these changes, and it is what it is. And at the end of the day, it's like, kind of like what I spoke about a few episodes earlier, is like, are we going to consistently be in a menopause state, have osteoporosis, you know, all these things,
other people happy,
to make your aunt happy at Christmas?
Yeah.
So that like your aunt doesn't say anything, you know? Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for chatting, guys.
It's tough. We got it.
Yeah, it is. So a good place for anyone where this is resonating with them, but they're kind of like new to all of this, I think just come check out the HA Society. So we have a membership, a lot of you know, but a lot of you don't know. We have a community that is just for women who are recovering, and our goal is to do like as many community calls as we can. We host multiple a week. There's a really active message board. You can DM with our coaching team and anyone else in the community. And there's people from all over the world in there with the exact same goals as you.
Yeah.
And it's free to try. And in there is, you know, our course for teens. If you're a parent of a teen or even a teen, what is HA, what to expect, that's all covered in there. Tons of resources. It's just a really great starting point.
I literally think that somebody just asked this question in the chat of just like, how do you deal with family members that are dieting and talking about dieting? And there's probably, I think, 7 or 8 people thus far in the last day who have commented. So it's just you're not the only one dealing with some of these issues.
And if you're someone who's in a situation like anything we've talked about today, you actually do need community, and like you actually do need like-minded people. Because if the only message you're getting around you is that sounds weird and doesn't make sense, it actually shocks me how many women say how much the community helped them.
I know.
I think when I started it, I knew that it was necessary, but I didn't think it was going to be like, oh, without this I may not have got there, kind of thing.
Or like the amount of people that stay even after the period, because
a lot of people do.
Like, you know, like, I guess I just thought like whenever we were doing it that like it was just gonna be like, oh, okay, I need this, okay, bye. But the amount of people that continue to show up afterwards are like,
just like still needing that type of support to continue to like
navigate this world
and navigate this world, which sucks. It is the way it is, but be the change you want to see in the world.
Love it. Thanks, guys. See you next